What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Chill, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content you watch on the WWE Network, as well as on the E! Network, as today we're talking Season 6, Episode 2 of Total Bellas, entitled Bellas Break Free. Now, right off the bat, I do not know if there's a new episode this coming Thursday, with it being Thanksgiving. The typical schedule so far, the typical Thursday schedule, has consisted of Total Bellas airing at 9 on E!, and then Ms. and Mrs. airing on USA Network at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I don't think there's a new episode. It said next week, I think. So I'm pretty sure there's a new episode on Thanksgiving, which is weird. Usually they take the week off, but if it is in 2 weeks and not next week, then I'll break it down the subsequent week. But as of right now, it looks like these reviews will be out every Sunday, along with my Ms. and Mrs. reviews. So anyway, the first thing that we hear about on this show is from Brie Bella, who talks about how, kind of like what we kind of heard on the Season 6 premiere last week, was that since Nikki's going to be in Los Angeles for her pregnancy, she's not going to be with her there for the pregnancy, at least the tail end of it. She wants to prepare Nikki to the best of her ability, just because she's not going to be there, in terms of getting her ready for certain things, not to be anxious, not to be nervous, whatever. And she kind of has her own worries regarding her own pregnancy, which I'll get to later. So their dad, who they've been kind of getting in better contact with, dating back to Season 5, because they were never on great terms with their dad. They never talked to their dad. We found out in Season 5 that Brie's actually been in communication with him for a while now. And then she kind of helped rebuild that bridge between her dad and Nikki, and now they're kind of on good terms as well. So he FaceTimes the twins, and he asks them about a potential baby shower, because obviously Nikki's never had one. Brie, I guess, had 2. I don't remember that. She definitely had 1, but apparently she had 2 for Birdie Joe. And it would really be a shame if Nikki had to miss out on that due to the current circumstances. And it's not only that due to COVID and social distancing and whatever, but it also has to do with her not being on great terms with her brother, who she hasn't talked to in a little while, and their dad not being on great terms with their mom, which she hasn't really trash-talked him in a while, but she also isn't on speaking terms with him either. So anyway, Artem, meanwhile, has been cycling, whatever, a lot lately. He's been in great physical shape. He's been, taking it up as a really big hobby, apparently. He loves cycling now. So Nikki's really disappointed that she can't partake in this physical activity due to being pregnant. And she buys him a new outfit. She absolutely loves that he's taken this up as a hobby. And she's frustrated that she can't be as active as she once was. Meanwhile, she's getting all this advice from Brie and getting all these new clothes from Brie as to what she's going to have to wear coming out of the pregnancy, like things like mesh underwear and stuff like that. I'm not even going to go into what else she got her, but that was one of the things that she had bought for her. So Brie, again, in order to have Nikki brace for what's about to happen, shows Nikki her birth video, the video of her giving birth to Birdie Joe a few years ago, just to give her an idea of what she's in for and why she should prepare for all possibilities. And it was a pretty tough pregnancy. Again, they showed it here on this show a few seasons ago, but it was pretty tough. Apparently, she was in labor for like 22 hours. She thought it would be easy. She ended up having to go into an emergency C-section in order to give birth. So it was pretty scary there for a little while, and eventually, obviously, it all worked out, but that initial process was pretty arduous, to say the least. So Nikki wants Kathy to join Artem cycling, because she feels that Artem is lonely, even though he says that he's fine doing it by himself. She wants her mom, who's also very physically active, to join Artem, just so they can kind of not only bond, but kind of, have someone to do this other stuff with, because Kathy doesn't really, she obviously has her husband, John Laurinaitis, but we haven't seen him in a while. I don't know what's going on with him. Maybe he's just busy with WWE stuff, I don't know. So they end up going cycling. Kathy says that she has never owned a helmet ever, which is kind of a red flag. You should probably own a helmet. That's not a new phenomenon. It's just kind of a safety concern, but that was a little weird. So they talk about how she's doing better, coming off the whole bout with Bell palsy a little while ago. She talked about that in episode 1 of Season 6 last week. But she hasn't really gone out much, but she does suggest hiking with Artem as well as golfing. And he's like, yeah, that sounds good. So Nikki reveals then, as I mentioned earlier, that she's barely talked to JJ since they had a fight that I thought was on the show, because they did have that big, not falling out, but like that big family drama thing with Kathy the mom and then JJ the brother against the Bella twins. It was kind of like a tag team match of sorts. over the whole dad thing, how they were keeping in contact with her father. JJ didn't like that very much, and Kathy has always hated their father. So they obviously patched that thing up. But apparently Nikki and Artem got into another fight after that about politics. They didn't talk about, Nikki didn't mention where she stood on politics, probably for the better, definitely for the better. All she said was that she and, did I say Artem? I meant JJ. I think I said JJ. That she and JJ do not see eye to eye politically. They got into a big fight about it, and they haven't talked since. And according to Brie, JJ wants to talk to Nikki, but he wants Nikki to reach out first, which sounds about right. So Brie, meanwhile, is having worries about her birth after everything kind of went wrong the first time. And obviously, Birdie Joe was born, healthy, happy, whatever. But again, that initial process was pretty tough, and she doesn't want to have to go through that again. She's worrying for the worst here. So while Kathy and Artem are spending time together, Artem brings up how, because I guess she asks Artem, have you had any conversations with the twins about potential baby showers? And he says, yeah, they were thinking about it, but their big concern is, like, if you were there, would you be in the same room as their dad? And Kathy even outright says, kind of like nervously, but she does say, I would bow out gracefully, were her exact words, that she would bow out if the dad was there. So Artem brings that up to Brie and Nikki, and they go, specifically Nikki. Brie, I guess, is open to the idea. Nikki's more like, listen, I don't want to have to deal with any more extra stress that I don't have to deal with. We're already pregnant. We're already dealing with all this other stuff and, being engaged in whatever. I don't have to deal with that extra stress if that's what it's going to come if that's what's going to come down to. So Brie and Brian help Artem and Nikki with breathing techniques for when Nikki goes into labor at some point, which was pretty cool. But Brie has to bow out at one point, or step out. I said bow out because that's what Kathy said earlier. She's got to step out of the room at one point, and she talks to Brian, and Brian's kind of concerned about where her head is at. And she reveals, like, she said earlier, she reveals to Brian that she's scared to do a vaginal birth, apparently, because, again, she tried to do it the first time. I guess it wasn't the smartest decision because it didn't work out, so she had to do the emergency C-section and whatever. So she's hoping it all works out for the best. And Brian, being a great husband that he is obviously there for Brie for whatever she needs. So Nikki and Brie are together, and they find out that Kathy and Artem went golfing because they posted about it on Artem's Instagram or whatever. And Nikki gets jealous, not like overly terrible jealous where it becomes a whole drama issue, but she's a little jealous that they didn't ask her to go with them even though she's pregnant. So Nikki and Brie agree to go spy on them. And she's worrying that she's getting boring, that she doesn't want to be the one that Artem doesn't want to hang out with her anymore because she's getting boring, which isn't true, obviously, but that's what she thinks just because she's pregnant. So they go to spy on them, which is so dumb. Artem finds them in the bushes, so the twins join Kathy and Artem for a little bit. And that's when Kathy says that it's been fun getting to know Artem a little better outside of the twins being there. And she even says, and I'm sure this is the truth, it's a much more relaxed environment without everyone else being around and everyone interrupting each other and whatever. So the twins then leave. They go to family therapy over Zoom with some therapist to deal with the issues that they're currently dealing with as far as Nikki and her current relationship with her brother. So they bring up the whole thing, and she wants to put her son first. She doesn't want to have her upcoming son, Mateo, have to deal with the whole drama with the family and the negativity of her brother. And after talking with the therapist, and it goes well, and Nikki gives Brie props for putting it together, she says that she's been running. She admits that she's been running from her family drama, and that doesn't help. And she feels like she has to set boundaries. And Brie doesn't want Nikki to miss out on this baby shower just because of her family drama. So hopefully she can move past it. And Brian, in an attempt to make Brie feel better about the whole birth thing coming up with the second child, shows Brie the end of the video that Brie showed Nikki earlier on in the episode of Brie with Birdie Joe and how beautiful it was. It was such a great moment to remind her that it was all worth it in the end, that everything's going to work out regardless of her worrying. So I thought it was a good way to close out the episode. I thought it was a good episode overall. No big dramatic storyline. Like some of these episodes, although I do enjoy them, do have that one big fake forced storyline that they try to cram in there. And again, it's reality TV, I get it. But some of these storylines are just too ridiculous to believe that they have here on the show. This one didn't have that. You got 3 different stories here with Artem and Kathy kind of forming a bond, which was cool, spending more quality time together. You had Brie and Brian, and Brie being nervous about her pregnancy, and then the whole Nikki and her brother thing, which obviously is not yet resolved, but hopefully we will see more interaction between them as the season progresses. So, again, I thought it was a good episode. Season 6, Episode 2, Bella's Break Free. You can check out all my other Total Divas, or rather Total Bellas, reviews here on the channel in the description box down below in the playlist entitled Total Bellas Reviews. Again, like I said earlier, the new episodes air every Thursday on the E! Network at 10:30, or rather 9 p.m. Eastern Time. 10:30 is when Ms. and Mrs. airs over on USA Network on Thursdays as well. So I think there's a new episode this Thursday on Thanksgiving. I'm pretty sure, because they showed a commercial for the next episode where this one looks like it's going to be dumb, where they go like camping or something. I forgot what like the big hook was, but like the ending part of the trailer for the episode teased that like Artem and Kathy went missing or some dumb shit, which is so stupid. But we'll see how that episode turns out. I think it's on Thursday, even though it's Thanksgiving. That might be wrong. I don't know. But either way, I'm thinking that we're going to have reviews of this show as well as of Ms. and Mrs. every Sunday for the foreseeable future. Just because I have other stuff planned to put up on the channel on Fridays. Saturday is SmackDown Talking Smack Day. So Sundays are probably going to be, for the foreseeable future, Ms. and Mrs. and Total Bella's Review Day. So nonetheless, guys, be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and be subscribed to the channel. Get subscribed to the channel for more daily content. Hit that bell button as well to be notified every time a new video goes up. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, folks. I'm Graham Jason Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.